the order is correct. Reactions to UFC 264 McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3. It's funny too. I just realized that this is my first time seeing the topics pop up because when you sent them, remember we were talking about how it was like frantic. I never had a chance to look at it. It's nice work, right? It's dope little graphic.
It's not bad.
I like that right there, man. It's clean, bro.
I thought you give Poirier some shot. He won the fight. I mean, McGregor's the one.
I was like, yeah, you gonna put Dustin's face on? You supposed to put McGregor?
He won the fight.
Doing, man?
He won the fight, so I'm gonna put him on.
Yeah. I guess we could put Dustin on. Jeez. Nah, man. Shout out to that, though. Did you get a chance to tune in for it, man? I know you said you were on the road and stuff.
I didn't see it live. I checked it out this morning, though.
Okay.
And from what I saw, Conor was really going at him with the kicks.
Yes.
Early on. Like, he was really going at him. And then Dustin gave him some of the kicks, too.
Yeah.
But I think overall, Dustin was winning the first round. Like, I thought he was able to get more nice shots on him.
Yeah.
And then when did the break happen? Because I remember you talking about it in your video.
So it's two things. All right.
Was it right before? Because he tried to kick right before that.
No. So the break that this is the story with it, right? And that's why I said in the video, it depends on who you want to believe and stuff. Dustin said he checked one of the first kicks that
it was early on.
So it was like right at the beginning, and the kick it's not even the part that breaks. You see like Conor's foot hitting on Dustin's knee, and it looked just subtle, but Dustin definitely points to his leg, like to his foot. Conor doesn't react. Conor still goes on, throws kicks, punches, does everything he does. At the end of the round, though, last like 10 seconds, Conor stands up. They both are advancing. They throw a punch. Everything is fine. Conor steps back, and you know how you can roll your ankle. Like, say you just misstep, like when you're shoe and your foot rolls over. It did that, but when it rolled, instead of it just rolling and stopping,
you saw it.
It just
was
snapped.
Like the Dak Prescott.
And that was the part that was crazy. I'm like, bro, what? In fact, yes, Richard, Conor's leg was as tender as Mosey's ribs. Absolutely, that was definitely the case, man. They were extra juicy. But yeah, that to me was crazy. So, did it crack? It could have been like a small crack maybe on the kick at the beginning, and then just the accumulation, the pressure and the torque of a punch missing, roll your ankle, it snaps that way. Or it could have just been a freak fluke thing where he just stepped back, perfect timing, torque, snaps. Like, we've seen it happen multiple ways. So I say it really just depends. My biggest thing was just for the people that were just so bit that the fight was over. Like, oh, even if Conor doesn't get hurt because Dustin dominated that first round, the fight was going to be over. It would have got stopped in the second round. It's not accurate. We've seen how many fighters get trashed in a round and come back the next round and win. We've seen how many fighters get trashed for 3 rounds and come back and win. In the fight business, all it takes is one shot. And it wasn't like Conor wasn't landing. Now, I don't think Conor would have went on and done anything crazy, but to just 100%,
to guarantee it.
Just guarantee it, that to me was the part where I'm just like, not an MMA,
because it didn't really look like Poirier hurt him like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was beating him, but it wasn't something where, oh, McGregor's gas, like he's completely out of this fight. There's no way.
Like Dustin was controlling him, sure, but I didn't look at it like, oh man, this guarantees that Dustin's gonna win this fight. So yeah, man.
Because it didn't really look like he got that many amazing shots when he got him on the ground even. Like Conor was able to hold him back a little bit.
For the most part. Now, there was a little funny part, man. My man Conor had caught Dustin with a couple elbows from the ground. It was like, oh, all right. I see you, Conor. And Dustin got pissed. Dustin hit Conor with some bombs, bro. Hey, some bombs. But the thing with Conor, though, tough as nails, bro, you would have thought like anybody else, they're either going to sleep or they would have been gashed, like cut up, because these are monster elbows coming from a dominant position from top to bottom. You got a ton of force with it. Literally, Conor was fine. The only thing, his cauliflower ear got like
that's what he said. I saw some of his videos that he posted out today. He was actually making fun of him when Poirier had him in that position because he was like, it was really nothing. Like, you didn't really do anything
with most people. Like, those are some heavy shots. Like, that's going to, like, elbows slice your face in the MMA business. Like, it happens. And dudes go to sleep off of those caliber shots. And it wasn't like it was 1. It was like 10. But going back to what Conor said, bro, like, he didn't look hurt. It never looked like, oh, man, they about to stop this thing. Even though Dustin was doing his thing. Like, I love Dustin's approach. Dustin's just calm demeanor through it all. But I never got the sense that, oh, man, this fight is over after 1 round. I'm like, man, we could point to they go, as I said in the video, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler looked great in that first round. And then we saw what Charles did in the second round. Like, it happens, you know? Like, that's the fight business. We talked about Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards, man. Leon Edwards is dominating the fight. Nate catches him with a punch at the end and changes everything. Like, that's the fight business, man. But it was good, though, man. I enjoyed it.
I'm with you. That would have been really nice to see go the distance.
It would have, man. It definitely would have, bro.
What do you think? Who do you believe then? In terms of Poirier versus McGregor on the check?
I think they both can be right. I don't think it's mutually exclusive either way. Like, you can check a kick and have a break. We saw Anderson Silva do that. We've seen multiple people do that where they throw a kick, a guy lifts their leg to check it, and bone on bone it'll snap. Usually it happens right then though, like the full break. So with Conor's kick though, it was more so the foot that landed and not the shin. With Anderson Silva, with Chris Weidman, those are all shins that landed and ultimately why it snapped like that, right? So with this, was it because the foot that it didn't snap completely in half, but it might have had a crack in it? And then because your adrenaline pumping in a fight, you're not thinking about it. But now towards the end of the round where you're really trying to throw some torque on it, you go, all right, I missed. But now when I step back, all that force, all that torque, it just happens. Like, it could be a mix of that. So that's my thing. I think it was just unfortunate. Just one of them freak accidents. I mean, you hate it to happen like this. But I will say, I was happy that it did happen the way that it did because I got a chance to see one of the most iconic moments when my man Conor was sitting on that ground in that cage and he said, "Your wife is in my DMs."
Me DMs.
Yo, your wife is in me DMs. That was the most legendary moment ever. Like, you talk about an angry guy. He looked like the angry Irishman. Like, I think of my little fighting Irish guy, and you notice every time Conor fighting Irish stance, I just imagine if that Irishman was just pouting and was mad. Like, Joe Rogan sitting next to him to do the interview killed me. I'm like, Joe, if you don't get up off this ground, Joe, don't do this interview sitting down like that, Joe. Joe going to, all right, Conor, how you feeling, man? You all right while we sitting on the case? Like, it's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look. But when my man Conor says that about my man Dustin's wife, I'm like, Lord, Conor, your leg is snapped, bro. If Dustin is mad with you when he comes over here and whoops you, there's zero you can do right now. Like, at least wait till you heal up before you start talking crazy again. But that's Conor, bro. That's Conor. I can't make it up, man. Can't make it up.
Who do you believe on that?
Well, no, I mean, Conor was telling the truth about her being in the DM. We just don't know what the message was.
That's the thing. You can't see it.
But then
that's the question. Is it Photoshopped?
No. Essentially, all it is if I send you a message and I delete the message or unsend the message before you open it, when you go to your page, you'll be able to pull up that I sent you something. You just can't see what it is because I took it back. So you know she sent something. We just don't know what it was.
You think she unsent it then?
No, that's what she did. Whatever she sent, she just unsent it. So it could have been, okay, my husband's going to kick your tail. All right, bet. And she's like, all right, I probably shouldn't have said, let me just take it back. Like, it could be something as simple as that. Like, I don't think it's anything.
Conor's not lying.
Right. But Conor's trying to make it like it's sexual.
Yeah.
None of us think that Dustin's wife, let's be real. If Dustin's wife wanted to leave Dustin, she could have left this man a long time ago. You know what I mean? Before he blew up, before he became who he is. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's Conor. Like, if, you know what I mean? It's a lot going on with Conor that isn't that savory either. That's all I'm saying. If a person wanted to pick a person to have some infidelity with, I just don't think that would happen in that timing like that. That's all right? But either way, I think it was more so either her talking smack. Like, I really think it was her saying like something out of pocket, and probably Dustin was like, yo, just chill. Like, it ain't even worth it. You know what I mean? And then she just takes it back. And for Conor, I mean, you screenshot it because, oh, this is fun. But these dudes have a history. This is their third time fighting. They only had,
weren't they so cordial or something on the last one?
Only on the second one, but this was where we were saying, like, was that fake McGregor? Because that's when McGregor was like, oh man, you know, I like the hot sauce. You go, oh, I got the whiskey. Oh man, this is a great guy. Da 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 da. And everything was good, but the reason they say they started the beef was the charity event. So that second fight, they said they were going to fight for charity. He was going to make a donation. After the fight happened, though, time went past. Dustin apparently didn't get the money that he wanted in a timely fashion from Conor. So instead of him reaching out to Conor directly, he publicly was like, yo, man, that's crazy. You lose the fight. You ain't gonna make the donation to my charity. Conor takes offense to that because essentially kind of took it as like, yo, you trying to come to me like I'm not going to be a man of my word. I'm not going to pay up. I'm not going to do this. When it was my idea.
Sometimes you have a friend, and it's usually me that doesn't pay in a timely fashion. But they always pay. So maybe that's how McGregor is.
So that was the reason why Conor, well, at least from Conor's perspective, that's what he says the reason why this go around he was so angry. But to me, that still doesn't give you the right to go at the man's family and his wife and talking me he wish he was going to die. And that was ultimately why Dustin at the end of the fight said what he said. He was still pissed because he's like, bro, where I'm from, we don't joke about death. Like Conor said in the weigh-ins, Conor said at the live show, yo, you're leaving here dead. Like, I'm going to kill you in this ring. Like, not I'm going to beat you up. Like, you're leaving out of here in a body bag on a stretcher. Like, you're done. Like, you're going to die. I'm going to kill this man. And Dustin's like, bro, you don't play like that. And then obviously you throw in Conor talking about his wife as well. Now you see why Dustin was so hot as he was. Now I will say with Dustin, he did handle it well. As pissed off as he was, even though, you know, he'll probably look back and say, I probably shouldn't have went that far with it. He didn't go the Khabib route. We saw when Khabib got pissed off with him, Khabib jumping over fences, his homies jumping in the stage. Like, it was all type of nonsense going on. So it didn't get to that point. But either way, the stage is set. They're going to fight a fourth time, man.
Yeah, that's a certainty.
It's going to happen a fourth. Yeah, Dana already said it. He said he said you can't end the trilogy like this. The fourth fight is going to happen, and it's going to happen for the belt. Watch. Because Dustin matches up well with Charles Oliveira, man.
When's that happen? Like, what's the timeline here?
So, put it like this. Dustin should have the belt by, it's July right now?
So, you're predicting a win from him?
Yeah, but he'll probably fight Charles in December, January at the beginning.
Okay.
Then after that, I probably think they put Dustin on the shelf for another 6 months after that. And so that gives Conor enough time, not just this time, but fall, winter time of next year is when you probably get Dustin and Conor in there again. I could just see
either one of them fight someone else before that.
No, this is the thing. Conor has to recover. Conor, like, man, realistically.
That's what I mean. Does he get a one-off fight, you think, in there? No.
The reason why I don't think this, the only way I could see them having Conor fight someone is if Dustin beats Charles and he's like, yo, I don't want to wait. I want to get another fight in here real quick. Then you could see Dustin fight, but you'll see Conor fight, but he won't fight any like legitimate contender. It'd be a gimme fight, a fight that you know he's going to win. It's going to get the hype train going back up. Just, oh, he's back out here. Cool. And then he's going to have that fourth fight with Dustin as long as Dustin wins. Like they already have that thing set up. You can already see how it's working because Dana knows that Conor sells. Like, even though Conor isn't deserving of it. And we said that the other episode, he's not deserving of it.
What's he 0-4 or 1-4 or something?
Like he's not deserving. But the thing is, he draws so much. Everybody tunes in when he fights. So even though we know that, okay, he might be declining a little bit. All right, he's not as dynamic. Okay, cool. You're still going to tune in. You either tune in because you love him or you tune in because you hate him. It's the Mayweather effect, though. So he's always going to move that needle. So Dana is going to make sure that he's going to get that fight for that belt again because that's just too much money involved with that.
What's been the biggest discrepancy? Do you know this off the top of your head between dude that has the belt and someone going for the belt? Because where would Conor be ranked at that point? Would he even be in the top 10?
It probably wouldn't, but who controls the rankings? Come on, man. You think that the UFC powerhouse that Dana knows needs to have this belt fight happen? You really think
they might still be around 6 or something?
Exactly. Okay. Now you're catching on. now you're catching on to what's going on.
Maybe
here.
Just keep him at 5.
Listen, this is how people have referred to him. No exaggeration. I just saw John Doe put it in here as well, but I've already seen this. They're calling him the Adrian Broner of UFC right now. Adrian Broner. You know who Adrian Broner is?
I don't.
So Floyd Mayweather, right? You remember Floyd? Most dominant boxer, right? All this other stuff. So Adrian Broner was supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather. He would do the exact same things. He's going to talk crazy, super flashy jewelry, kick tail. I mean, he boxed with the best of them. Multiple division champion. Looked great. Ran into, I want to say it was Maidana. Ran into Maidana. Maidana whoops him, works him. It's bad. Gets beat. And ever since then, my man just one fight after another. Lost. Draw. Oh, this is a good thing. It's a draw. Hype. Then he starts getting beat. And before you know it, it becomes like, yo, you're just a character. You're not even a fighter anymore. So you'll like watch this dude, and even on social media, like, he goes nuts trying to sell stuff, trying to sell fights. And you're just like, bro, I'm not tuning in because you don't fight well anymore. Like, you're not going to perform. You're going to get in here. You're going to throw 3 punches this round, look flashy, talk junk. And then at the end of the fight, say something outlandish. And that's what people are starting to feel about Conor. Like the pure MMA fans, that's kind of how they view Conor because Conor isn't winning anything of substance versus these top tier guys. Now, Conor can still beat people up, but when you're talking about the best of the best, like Dustin Poirier was the #1 contender. Charles Oliveira is the champ. Like, these are the guys that Conor's beat. We're not asking Conor to beat the 10th ranked guy or the 8th ranked guy or the not ranked guy. No, we're talking about can Conor beat the top tier guys. And right now, it hasn't been looking like that. I'm just saying.
Well, we had the one comment early on, the next Ronda Rousey, but we talked about this actually last podcast.
I don't feel like he's the next Ronda because
he would just have to retire then, right?
And come back and look like scared to fight and go for the whole like pitiful like puppy dog thing. Whereas like Conor went Scarface on him, say goodnight to the bad guy. Like, it's the last time you see a bad guy do it like me. You need a person like me so you can punch your fingers at him. You seen Scarface before, right? Oh God! No. All right, so you don't.
There's a lot of classics I have not seen.
Okay, all right. It's all good. But so when Conor posted his picture on the stretch and he's like, "You need people like me." That's a reference from Scarface when he was.
I may have seen the ending. Isn't that when he gets lit up and then?
No, that's not that either though.
What one is it? With Pacino?
That part where he gets shot up at the end. Yeah. That's Say Hello to My Little Friend.
Yeah. What's that one from?
So that's Scarface as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen that. All that's from that same movie.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-hour movie. It's an awesome movie though.
But I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. But literally, it's a part in there where he's at this club where he's been running things but he's hammered, drunk, coked out of his mind, and he's stumbling out of there, and the people are looking at him, and they're all like, black tie tuxedos, and he's getting up. What are you looking at? You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. So does that make you good? Huh? And he's like cursing these people out. He's like, well, you know what? Say goodnight to the bad guy. And he has like this thick Cuban accent. Like, it is a dope scene. Like, it's a movie that you need to check out. That's a good line, though, bro. Yeah, but he has a ton of those type of things. But that's what Conor ultimately tried to channel with that. And I was like, I can see that, Conor. Okay, I like where you're going there. But as a whole, though, baby, Conor got to get a dub under his belt, man. He got to get a dub under his belt. I mean, that's what it is right now, because otherwise you're all talk. Now, I've seen people say would they like to see him fight Jorge Masvidal, right? That's Street G's. That's the guy that fought Nate Diaz. He has the long hair.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Knocked out by Kamaru Usman his last fight. So he was excited to fight as well.
He's fallen off a little bit, but he sells a little bit.
Yeah. He sells, especially in Florida. He sells big in Florida because that's where he's from. Like, he started out with the Kimbo Slice, like backyard boxing and stuff like that. So he's a big draw. Would that be
too risky for Conor? Like, he could lose that.
I mean, he could lose versus him. I don't think it's risky. I think it fits him stylistically because Jorge's going to stand up and just punch. Conor wants to stand up and punch and kick. Conor doesn't want to go to the ground. So a guy like Jorge Masvidal, he works all perfect. Only thing is, Jorge got power to knock him out. Conor typically has a great chin, though. So that will be the dynamic there. But Conor would be able to hit him a lot. That's why I say it would benefit Conor, but it's still risky for Conor because Jorge, for a fact, can knock Conor out. Like, Jorge has that type of power. He could punch like that, man.
How many more fights are you giving him a chance?
For Conor? What do you mean?
Like you said with Broner. Mm-hmm. Before you just say, hey, you're all talk. Like, it's just over.
So this was the thing. With Broner, it started to shift when we started to see him not necessarily fighting other champions, but they were still, like, working him. With Conor, the reason why you give him the benefit of the doubt, you say, okay, you lost to one of the all-time greatest in Khabib Nurmagomedov. All right, cool. You lost to Dustin Poirier, who's on like a 8-fight winning streak right now.
2 times.
Twice.
Borderline fluky, too.
Well, yeah, especially the second one. The second one, you can make a legitimate case like, yo, that was fluky. Like, all right. Then, let's see. Who else has he lost to in this small window? He beat Cowboy, but like I said, Cowboy was older, nor was he a top 10 guy. I don't think he was top 10 at the time, but like, he was old. Like, and it showed in Cowboy's fights leading up to that and afterwards. Then, let's see. Who did he lose to before that? Split 1-1 with Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because he took that break when he went to box with Floyd.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I guess the Floyd one that's thrown in there makes
like I don't count it. Right. I don't count it, but that was a part of just like that layoff though. Like all of that went into
18 to 2021. It's just Khabib, Cerrone, and then the 2 with Poirier. But then you go back to 16. Yeah. And I think you're right. Yeah, Diaz. Yeah, they split it.
Now I've seen people in the chat, Steeler Nation 412. talking about Conor going back down in weight. So when I was talking about him fighting Jorge, that would be him bumping up, going a little bit bigger. Just because he's fought at 170 before. When he fought Nate Diaz, the both fights versus Nate Diaz were at 170. But he'll fight 170, 155, or when he was knocking everyone out was at 145, right? I don't think he's going to cut to go back down to 145, but they got interesting matches down there. Max Holloway is another fight that Conor, Conor beat Max before. Max is great on the stand-up, great with his hands. But once again, Conor, that's a fight that Conor could, it makes sense for him if you could just stand up. The weight cut, though, I don't like for Conor as he's getting older now, because with the weight cut, typically makes your chin a little janky, and Max can touch him up. Now, Max doesn't have the same power to knock him out, though, and that is what benefits Conor. Because Conor can take a punch. Max has great gas tank, great ability to throw volume strikes, but he's never going to be able to hurt Conor. Whereas Conor, for a fact, will be able to hurt Max. But Max got a great chin on him as well, though, man. But Dustin Poirier he carved up Max when they fought, boy. Lord have mercy. So, yeah, man.
He's on a run.
Yeah.
Anything else on UFC, McGregor that we're missing here?
Man, just Steeler Nation brought up when Conor had beat Cowboy at 170, how we all thought Conor was back after that, and turned out that wasn't the case.
Do you know what Cowboy was ranked at that time?
He wasn't ranked, or at best he was like 10.
Yeah, because
Cowboy's on the downslide, man.
His record's 36-16.
Yeah, like Conor. I mean, with Cowboy, man, it was just
Cowboy's last run.
Yeah, but Cowboy never really has like a last run because it's Cowboy. He's always game. He's the guy that's going to always take a short notice fight. He's always going to hop in that thing. And even though he doesn't always win, he's always a game fighter. So it was more so just the interesting part of, it'd be cool to actually see these two guys go at it. If it goes to the ground, Cowboy's going to win. If they stay up, Conor's going to win. We saw what happened. It stayed up, and it was in Conor's best round, which is his first round when he's as fresh as he can be.
40 seconds.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We'll
see, though, man.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. I mean, next year, it'll be hyped up.
Yeah.
I'll be interested. So that's what I'm hoping for. What's the next big one now? Because now boxing's getting moved.
Yeah, man. Because, that's COVID behind them dudes, man, with Tyson Fury.
Is that just going to be now all of a sudden it's going to be in August, maybe?
I'm hoping as simple as that. Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm still waiting to get the details on like the new date and stuff. When I had looked it over the weekend, they said they were just moving it.
Okay, yeah, and I wonder how much that would have. It was Fury, right? That had it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much. Maybe they want to move it back a little bit further, so he has like a recovery time if he actually has it.
See, I don't know if it was him or somebody in his camp that tested positive, and that was it too. If he tests positive, then I can see them moving it back.
That's what I mean. Like if he actually had the flu stuff and he's losing weight,
yeah.
But if he doesn't have it, maybe it's a sooner turnaround time.
Absolutely, man. But no, man, we got Derek Lewis though, man. That's the Houston Cat, aka
I know Lewis, man. Every time I tune into him, he's knocking someone out. He's getting
he has a fight coming up in Houston. He has a fight coming up in Houston. That's his hometown, so that's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
And then Amanda Nunez, she's fighting as well versus Juliana Pena. That's how you say her name. But yeah, Amanda Nunez, she's an absolute monster. AKA the GOAT. She's in that. That's the one that's in that conversation. Like, yeah.
It does just kind of suck that McGregor's gonna be out for this whole year at least.
Yeah.
Because let's be real. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. You saying those names, it's like, if I'm around somewhere that they have it on, I'll tune in. But I'm actually like really interested in a bunch of this other stuff that comes with McGregor.
That's the Conor effect, and that's why I said if you're Dana needed Conor to win. If Conor would have won this last fight, that's why he made the announcement before the fight. Hey, whoever wins is fighting for the belt. Because if Conor gets that, man, it changes everything. But unfortunately, he lost. That's the one thing with MMA that I love about it is you don't have to deal with a referee typically having too much influence. You don't have to worry about crazy, fluky, this guy just having bad games or bad series. It's like, no. They're going to go in this ring and they're going to fight till somebody stops fighting. And I love that part. So you might have a bad round. You might get your tail kicked that round, but you're going to get a chance to come back and make it right. And at the end of it, best man going to win. Last man standing. So I like that right there, man. But for Dana, it kind of sucks because you can't control that. In basketball, you might be like, man, get some extra calls over here. And we've heard referees say that too. Well, yeah, man, we've done some calls and we've done this to make up for that. And we're all like, yo, what are you doing? But either way, in UFC, it's different. You can't do that. I can't protect you from this punch that's coming.
Yeah, and you're right. If he had the belt, even if he loses the belt, all of a sudden you could probably have another match for him trying to get the belt back.
You gotta have a rematch. You could mandatory rematch. You weren't ready for that?
You'd have at least 3 or 4 fights, no matter what the outcome, that you could tee up with him getting the belt. Man.
And now the people are saying they were happy to see my man Greg Hardy get dropped. Well, actually, I said my man, not my man, but I get what you're saying on that. But Greg Hardy, yeah, he got cracked. Oh gosh.
Well, I saw your video on it.
And he got cracked.
Was it early?
Oh man, it was the first round. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good scrap, but Lord, because he low key was winning the first round. Like he caught the dude. He caught Ty. My man Ty, oh Lord. And that Spice Girls intro killed me, man. Tell me what you want. What I really, really want. I love it, bro. Got to get the shoey. Oh,
has he done that before?
The shoeys, yes. He'll do the shoey chugs, and they said he's come out to like Celine Dion. He comes like to all type of like wacky like
just to throw
those
people
type
off.
Of songs. Yeah. The My Heart Will Go On or whatever. Yeah,
that's
near, far, wherever. Yeah,
I recognize him from the tattoos on the side. I've seen him fight once or twice.
He gets after it, bro.
Yeah,
he gets after it, man.